What if I told you one of the main characters from Dying Light 1 might be returning in Dying Light the Beast, but in a way no one expected? Before we dive in, there is a major spoiler alert for both Dying Light 1 and some Dying Light 2 lore. So let's talk about Brecken. Brecken is one of the most important yet mysterious characters in Dying Light 1. You meet him early on as the leader of the tower, which is a center hub for survivors in Haran. But wait, what makes Brecken so interesting is that he's not just another survivor. He's a former parkour instructor who moved to Haran before the outbreak, in hopes of starting a training program. When the virus hit, the same skill set ended up saving lives. Brecken began teaching people how to stay off the streets, to survive by sticking to the rooftops, because in Haran, the ground really just meant death. But Brecken's story isn't a heroic fantasy. It's full of tragedy and guilt. When Crane arrives, Brecken is already in a bad shape, physically and mentally. He had just led a mission to retrieve Ansison, the drug that delays turning, but it went horribly wrong. Many in his team had died, and he returned with a serious head injury, which later on he blamed himself not just for the mission, but for every death under his watch. Things only got worse when an outbreak occurred on the tower's 18th floor. It killed several people, including children. That moment breaks him even further, to the point where he questions if he should still be the leader at all. Later along the lines, he eventually helps Crane repeatedly, including saving his life after a mission goes south, after trying to rescue Dr. Zara after being captured by Rise. And he ends up pointing him to a group called the Saviors, who are supposed to smuggle people between sectors of the city from the slums to Sector Zero, also known as Old Town. Later along the line, when you are in the tunnels and you are moving towards Sector Zero, the Saviors end up betraying you. After managing to survive the ambush right afterwards, you let Brecken know, and he shares his regret, and he sends his well wishes one last time when you were looking for Jade. And that's the last time we ever see or hear from him directly. Later in the following DLC, Crane finds a letter from Brecken in a countryside post office. It's brief and vague, but it proves that Brecken was still alive even after the events of the main game. However, the location was supposedly last seen. The ferry is completely abandoned when Crane returns, and there's no Brecken and there's no clue where he went, and that's where the mystery deepens. So let's fast forward to Dying Light 2, and this is where things get really interesting, and basically what built up Dying Light the Beast. When you play through Dying Light 2, there's a collectible that references to someone called the Baron, who is deeply connected to the Jerry's past experiments, and there is an article that describes him being tied to rumors of wanting to create a bioweapon out of the virus during early days of the outbreak, the same time Brecken disappeared. So let's go back to Dying Light 1. Remember that original Jerry file Crane was sent to recover, the one Rise had? That file revealed the Jerry's real intentions. They wanted to weaponize the virus, and they never wanted to cure it. They needed test subjects, survivors from Haran with combat experience and viral exposure, since they were the ideal candidates and they were fit for the experiments. And Brecken? He was skilled, experienced, exposed, and he was vulnerable after the tower's fall. It's not a stretch to think that the events of the falling, or what the jury had left of it, captured Brecken for experimentation. And if you look closely, side-by-side comparisons between Brecken and the Beast show some compelling similarities. A user named 1962 Mustang even tried aligning facial features between the two, and the resemblance is pretty hard to ignore. Could Brecken have been transformed by Jerry experiments? Could his mind have broken under the pressure? Or maybe he's still there, trapped beneath layers of mutation and pain. And what makes this theory more exciting is how Techland has handled returning characters in the past. They've shown they're not afraid to surprise us when we've seen callbacks and hidden notes, or even teases buried in collectibles. If this theory holds, it also opens the door for something even bigger. Maybe in Dying Light the Beast, we'll see a formation of a new team or a returning team, which indicates characters that will fight against the Baron, like Crane, Spike, Aiden, and Brecken. I'll be honest, I never expected Brecken to be a part of the story again, but if Techland really is bringing him back, not as a leader, but as the Beast, that changes everything. So, what do you guys think? Is Brecken really the beast, or is there a chance he could still be saved? Or is he really gone for good? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, thank you for watching.